All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start on the dough. So we need to activate the yeast. I always buy the Fleischmann Rapid Rise Instant Yeast, but you can use the another brand that's a quick active one. So we're gonna first get a cup of warm water, and it's gonna be like lukewarm to your arm, kind of like you would do a little warmer than a baby bottle water. So you're going to fill up for 1 cup. Alright, so make sure it is, so looks like it's 1 cup. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and open it up. And you're going to go ahead and dump your yeast into the water, the warm water. And again, this just helps to activate it so that it rises your dough quicker. And I have already preheated my oven to a temp of 200 degrees and then turned it off once it warmed up. Because what we're going to do is once the dough is formed, we are going to let it rise in the warm oven. All right, so that's good. It's going to go ahead and activate, and we'll grab it in just a moment. Now that the yeast has activated, we're going to go ahead and add 2.5 cups of bread flour. I like to use bread flour instead of regular enriched white flour because it actually forms better for when you're doing dough. So I already have 2.5 cups in here. I'll pour it into my mixing bowl. Then you're going to want to take your 1 cup of warm water with the activated yeast and pour it in. Next, you will go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of oil. Now this next part, you want to be more careful. You're going to want to add your sugar into one spot, not into the yeast water, because it will stop it from rising. And then we'll take our salt, and it's 1 teaspoon of salt, and put it into the bowl. Now we're going to go ahead and mix it. You'll get dirty, so I'm going to take my rings off so dough does not stick to it. And just get your hand in there. I used to use a bread machine because I hated my hands being sticky, but I watched Paul Hollywood a lot on the Great British Bake Off, so I learned a lot from him. So you're just going to go ahead and mix it together. And if it seems like you have too much liquid and it's not going to form enough, you can keep adding flour. So we're just going to keep forming this and until it's into a nice soft ball. And I'll show you what it should look like when we get ready to have it rise in the warm oven. Important step we forgot is once you mix it, you do need to knead it so it's not so sticky. And as I'm kneading it, I'll be adding in some more bread flour. And you can see how I just go back and forth. If you ever want to watch the Great British Bake Off, Paul Hollywood teaches a lot about making dough and stuff. So you just keep going back and forth, and you can add more flour as you're going so it's not so sticky. But the more you knead it, the less sticky it does get. And we'll keep kneading it now until it gets to the right consistency. All right, so this is the consistency you want your dough, and you're just gonna form it into a ball and try to put the underside underneath the bottom, like that. And then you're gonna take a little bit of oil, and you just wanna kind of coat the whole ball. And this is gonna prevent it from sticking to your mixing bowl as it rises, because you wanna be able to take it out. So now what I'm gonna do is I do have a cover to put over this. You can use Saran wrap. I'm just using a towel. And like I said, I had the oven on 200 degrees and then turned it off just so it's warm. And we're gonna place it in here just to let it rise for a little while. And it should double in size when you take it out. So this is what it is now. When we come back, it'll be double in size for us to go ahead and proceed with making our pizza dough. All right, so I did check on it, and look at it, it has rise about double, if not a little more. I'm just gonna set this here for a moment, and I did turn up the oven to 400 degrees now, so that way it will be prepared for baking the pizza. Now, this is my favorite pan to use. My mom gave it to me. It is a deep dish pizza pan. So what you're gonna do is you just take this and you grease it all the way over, and I just use Crisco all vegetable. And so you're gonna spread it all over, even on the sides. And this allows it so that the dough won't stick once you take it out. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and we will put some flour on the counter, and you're just gonna roll it out, and then we'll show you what it looks like once we get it into the pan. You can show it rolling it out into a nice big circle. All right, when you're happy, just gently pull it up off of the counter so it doesn't tear. And what we're doing is we're gonna put this in the pan, in our grease pan. So as you can see, I'm gonna have to kind of spread it out as I'm going. Just gonna work it over. And you just keep doing this until you're happy. And I have to get so this is not so clumpy on one side. And see how you do this? You kind of want to form a little edge. And it is really good dough. It gets nice and big. All right, so now we have our dough made. So when you're happy with it, this is where you get to add your toppings. We're gonna add the homemade pizza sauce. I like to add ground beef. That's my favorite. And then also pepperoni for half of it, because some of us just like the ground beef pizza. And then we'll add our cheese. Only half is getting this. And now, my favorite is the cheddar jack cheese. And we're going to put that over this side so we know which one doesn't have the pepperoni. That's my little trick. Or sometimes I'll just put a little bit of this one on top, so that way I know which is which side. And I'll add some more pepper because Daryl and Henry love their pepperoni. So does Max, but he's not eating my homemade pizza, hopefully. Oops! Dropped one. Lucky dog. Yep. Alright, so now I'm going to add some mozzarella cheese to the side that has the ground beef and pepperoni. So again, we know which is which. Because Emily and I prefer without the pepperoni. Right, Em? Load it up. And then we're going to put it in the oven when it's for about 15-20 minutes. And you just want to make sure the brown, or the bottom is nice and golden brown, so it's all be cooked through, because this is a deep dish pizza. That's why you do it at a lower oven temp for a little bit longer. And we will show you the finished product. Look at that. It is perfect. Doesn't that look delicious? So now we're going to let it set for a little bit. We'll cut it up and we'll show you what it looks like when it's all sliced onto a plate.
Very good.